renewal within the period prescribed by the concerned local government unit, provided that the renewed permit shall be submitted as a post-qualification requirement in accordance with Section 34.2 of the IRR of RA 9184. For legal documents, number 3, tax clearance for Executive Order 3980 of 2005 as finally reviewed and approved by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. Technical documents, number 4, statement of the prospective bidder of all its completed and ongoing projects and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. Technical documents, number 5, statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or SLCC similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in Section 23.4.2.4 of the IRR of RA 9184. All of the above statements 4 and 5 should include all information required in the PBDs prescribed by the GPPB. 23.4.2.4, the prospective bidder has have completed an SLCC that is similar to the contract to be bid and whose value adjusted to current price using the PSA consumer price indices must be at least 50% of the ABC to be bid, provided, however, the contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience on the contract to be bid may be allowed to bid if the cost of such contract is not more than the allowable range of contractor cost ARCC of their registration based on the guidelines as prescribed by the PCAP. 23.4.2.4, moreover, a contract shall be considered similar to the contract to be bid if it has the same major categories of work. The procuring entity may clarify in the bidding documents what is regarded as major categories of work. For the inter-DPW's determination of major categories of work are defined in Department Order 1170 of 2017. 23.4.2.5, SLCC shall be supported by an owner certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the contractor's performance evaluation system, CPES. In case of contracts with a private contractor, an equivalent document shall be submitted. Number 6, valid Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board or PCAB license or special PCAB license in case of joint ventures and registrations for the type and cost for the contract to be bid. Financial documents, number 7, the prospective bidder's audited financial statement showing, among others, the prospective bidder's total in current assets and liabilities stamp received to the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of submission, or bid submission. Number 8, the prospective bidder's computation of the net financial contracting capacity, NFCC. 23.4.2.6, the computation of the prospective bidder's NFCC must be at least equal to the ABC to be bid, calculated as follows. NFCC equals to current assets minus current liabilities times 15 minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started, coinciding with the contract to be bid. The values of the domestic bidder's current assets and current liabilities shall be based on the latest audited financial statements submitted to the BIR. For Class B documents, letter B, joint ventures, bidders shall submit a GBA in accordance with RA 4566 and its IRR. Its partner of the joint venture shall submit the respective certificates of registration in accordance with Sections 8.5.2 of the IRR of RA 9184. The submission of technical and financial eligibility documents by any of the joint venture partners constitute compliance, provided that the partner responsible to submit the NFCC shall likewise submit the statement of all its ongoing contracts and audited financial statements. Technical requirements is joint venture agreement, bid security as applicable, bid security declaration. Sample format of bid security declaration must be notarized. Bid security declaration, contract ID number, name of the contract, location, to Department of Public, address to the Department of Public Works and Highways, Regional Office 5, Old Airport Road, Barangay 40, Corsada, Legazpi City. Technical requirements, we or I declare that I understand that according to your conditions, bids must be supported by a bid security, which may be in the form of a bid securing declaration. Number 2, we or I accept that I will be automatically disqualified from bidding for any contract with any procuring entity for a period of 2 years upon receipt of your blacklisting order, and B, we or I will pay the applicable fine provided under Section 6 of the guidelines in the use of bid securing declaration within 15 days from receipt of the written demand by the procuring entity for the commission of its acts resulting to the enforcement of the bid securing declaration under Section 23.1, Paragraph B, 34.2, 40.1, and 69.1, except 69.1, Paragraph F of the IRR of the RA 9184, without prejudice to other legal action the government may undertake. Number 3, we or I understand that the bid security declaration shall cease to be valid of the following circumstance. A, upon expiration of the bid validity period or any extension thereof pursuant to your request. B, we or I are declared ineligible or post-disqualified upon receipt of your notice to such effect, and we or I failed to timely file a request for reconsideration, or we or I filed a waiver to avail of said right. Letter C, we or I are declared as the bidder with the lowest calculated and responsive bid, and we or I have furnished the performance security and signed the contract in witness whereof. We or I have hereunder set my hands this blank day of blank at blank, of course, a payer. Next, technical requirements, duly signed organizational chart, duly signed list of key personnel for the contract with supporting affidavits of commitment to work on the contract with the key personnel. Duly signed list of contractors, major construction, and laboratory equipment pledged to the contract. Omnibus summary statement. Duly signed bid form, duly signed bill of quantities, including summary of bid prices, duly signed initial detailed estimates, duly signed cash flow by quarter. Further instruction clarification on the submission of technical and financial documents. For those who wish to use bid security declaration or BSD as bid security, use the new format Fair Department Memorandum Circular 85 series of 2020 uploaded in the PhilGIPS and the DPWH's websites. Similarly, use the uploaded new omnibus summary statements format that contains addendum in clause 3 pertaining to the declaration of non-inclusion in the blacklist and an additional declaration as clause 10 pertaining to the advance payment. Prospective bidders are required to use the appropriate in correct format of the omnibus summary statement pertaining to the authority of the signatory according to the type of the business organization. An example, single proprietorship, corporate, cooperative, or joint venture, failure to do so will be treated as a misdeclaration by the prospective bidder and will be a ground for the non-compliance of the bid. Further instruction, clarification, and the submission of technical and financial documents. Prospective bidders are reminded of the provision in the invitation to bid that equipment capacity as specified in the bid data sheet shall be mandatory. In absence of the same shall disqualify the contractor. All requirements stated in the bid data sheet are mandatory. Hence, in the same manner that items of work and the corresponding quantities involved are fixed and mandatory in the bill of quantities. The type of equipment, the respective capacities, and number of units required are also mandatory in the list of equipment pledged for the contract. Failure of the prospective bidder to state a complete technical description of the pledged equipment in a specific location, whether owned, leased, or under purchase agreement, shall result in the bidder's automatic post-disqualification and forfeiture of the bid security. The TWG shall conduct inspection on the pledged equipment as to their availability and efficiency. Equipment pledged for one awarded project shall not be pledged to another project bid out on the same date or immediate date after the bidding of the awarded project. Equipment pledged on several projects bid out on the same date wherein the bidder is potentially the winner of all these projects will be ground for the bidder's post-disqualification in the other projects. Review documents to be submitted to avoid ineligibility in non-compliance of bid. Check the validity of permits, licenses, registrations, and clearances. Check the completeness as to form and substance of the bid security affidavits, declaration, and other notarized documents. Use the new bid form for infrastructure GPPB resolution number 16-2020 and centralized in the DPW's through Department Order 85 series of 2020. All entries required in the bill of quantities, such as those for the unit price in words and figures, in the total price for the item for both lump sum and non-lump sum items of work should be properly filled out. Absence of any of the said required entries will be drawn for non-compliance filing on the bid and shall be considered violation under 2C of Department Order 17 series of 2015 3-strike policy in the procurement of contracts for civil works, goods, and consulting services. Absence of signature on any page of the bill of quantities qualified as one of the violations contemplated in Department Order number 17, series of 2015, and as reiterated in Section 8.6.4, the strike policy of the DPS Procurement Manual, provision of excessive OCMs, profits, and taxes in the detailed estimate shall not be considered as ground for the disqualification of the bid. However, the TWG shall make corrections in the bid incorporating therein the correct percentages, amounts for the indirect cost per section 32 of the IRR of RA 9184 in DO 17 series of 2015. The resulting total shall be considered as the correct bid. Award shall be made to the submitted bid price or its calculated corrected bid price, whichever is lower. Lump sum costs in the bill of quantities must be supported with detailed cost estimate showing the direct and indirect costs including tax, provision of overhead, contingencies, and miscellaneous or OCM for special items under general requirements and facilities for the engineer shall not be accepted. Discounts offered in handwritten text in the bid form should be signed or initialed by the authorized managing officer who is authorized to sign the bid documents. Otherwise, the discount will not be accepted. Erasures, interlineation, overwriting, and alterations in any document should likewise be signed, initialed by the authorized managing officer. Brief explanation and the criteria for eligibility screening, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, and post-qualification. Process and criteria for eligibility processing shall be in accordance with sections 23.1 and 23.4.2 of the revised IRR of RA 9184 and the contract profile based on DO 117 series of 2017 revised guidelines for the determination of major and similar categories of work. Electronic eligibility processing through the Civil Works Application or CWA shall be conducted simultaneously or ahead of the opening of the technical documents depending on the consistency of the network connectivity of the CWA. Preliminary examination of bids shall be conducted in accordance with Section 30 of the revised IRR of RA 9184. Bids that fail to include any requirements from the checklist or are incomplete or patently insufficient shall be considered as failed. Detailed evaluation of bids shall be in accordance with Section 32 of the revised IRR of RA 9184. Bids shall be checked as to completeness, arithmetically corrections will be performed on computational errors and omissions will be corrected to enable proper comparison and equal footing of all eligible bids. Post-qualification shall be conducted in accordance with Rule 10, post-qualification of the IRR of RA 9184. Verification, validation, and ascertainment of all statements made and documents submitted by the bidder to the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria as stated in the bidding documents covering the legal, technical, and financial requirements. The provisions of the revised IRR of RA 9184 and the DPS Procurement Manual 2 infrastructure shall govern the procurement, instruction, and the purchase of bidding documents. Only the owner of the firm or the authorized representatives named in the CRC shall be allowed to transact business relative to bidding matters and purchase bidding documents for DO 176 series of 1993 and as reiterated in DO 197 series of 2001. Those representatives not included in the CRC are required to submit special power of attorney or SPA or secretary certificate whichever is applicable. The authorized representatives issued with SPA or secretary certificate shall be required to present 2 valid government-issued identification cards or IDs and a print-out copy of the document request list or DRL from the previous posting of the contract to be bid showing the name of their construction firm. The Bank Secretariat will not be responsible for the failure by the bidder to pay the bidding document in time for the bid dropping due to late arrival, delayed processing of the order of payment, collection order, and the late payment of the bidding documents. Instruction to purchase of bidding documents, loss of the order of payment, and supporting documents already released issued by the Bank Secretariat is not the responsibility of the Bank Secretariat. Only the Secretary may cancel or revise with duly signed letter of authority to purchase bid documents. Bidding documents payment made for cancelled projects due to no funds approved, released, and for disapproved modification in or for late release projects that have already exceeded the 3-month period for award are done refundable as a matter of policy of the DPS Regional Office 5. Instruction and the submission and wrapping of bids. Follow the checklist of the technical and financial document requirements uploaded with the bidding documents for the contract to be bid out. Absence of any required document shall be considered as failure of compliance of the required document and non-compliance of the bid. Chronologically arrange the documents in accordance with the checklist for the technical and financial documents. Provide an stamp and pagination and securely bind the documents. Affix initial on all pages of the documents. The initial on the pages together with the pagination affirm the authenticity of the pages that they are indeed part of the submitted bid documents. Submit duly signed original and 1 machine copy of the bid documents. Machine copies of the documents must be from the original. Instruction and the submission and wrapping of bids. Letter A. Place the original technical document in an envelope and securely seal it. Put a marking on the envelope containing the following text. Original technical document, the name of the bank chairman, and the name and address of the procuring entity, the contract ID, and the name of the project, and indicate do not open before 10 a.m. of February 12, 2024. Do the same for the original financial documents and put both the original technical and financial envelopes into one outer envelope. Label the outer envelope as original bid, including the other text for the marking. Do the same about procedures for the copy by marking the envelopes as copy 1 for the technical and financial envelopes as well as the outer envelope. Place the envelopes labeled original bid and copy 1 in one mother envelope and put the marking containing the text name of the bank chairman in the name and address of the procuring entity, the contract ID, in the name of the project, and indicate do not open before 10 a.m. of February 12, 2024. Okay, instruction and distribution drafting of bids. We have the original containing technical documents, financial documents, and the outer envelope inside the mother envelope together with the copy 1, the technical documents, the outer envelope, and the financial documents. Other important matters, prospective bidders are encouraged to conduct site inspection for them to determine whether this is the right project for them. Decisions of the bank amending any provision of the bid document shall be issued in writing through a supplemental bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipts of bids. Minutes of the pre-bid conference will be posted in the bank bulletin board, and prospective bidders are encouraged to read the minutes. Prospective bidders are also encouraged to regularly visit the postings in the PhilGIPS and the PIDA's websites to keep themselves abreast of the supplemental bid bulletins that will be issued by the bank. Other important matters includes prospective bidders, key personnel shall submit copies of their valid and updated PRC licenses and or accreditation whichever is applicable. Possible causes of failure biddings are the following. Number 1, no bids are received. Number 2, all prospective bidders are declared ineligible. Number 3, all bids fail to comply with all the bid documents or fail post-qualification. Or number 4, the bidder with the lowest calculated responsive bid refuses without justifiable cause to accept awards of contract, and no awards is made in accordance with Section 40 of the Act and its IRR. So that ends our pre-bid conference. Sir Benji, do you want to add if the bidders, like for example, the expiration of
the bidder's permit na-explain ba yun?
Hindi pa po. So,
doon siya sa sa eligibility pa mayor's permit. So nakalagay kasi originally ito yung makikita niyo sa IRR, itong provision na ito. In cases of recently expired mayor's business permit, it shall be accepted together with the official receipt as proof that the bidder has applied for renewal within the period prescribed by the concerned local government unit, provided that the renewed permit shall be submitted as post-qualification requirement in accordance with Section 34.2 of the IRR of RA 9184. But in the light of the issuance by the GPPB Resolution 15 Series of 2021, itong sinasabi dito na official receipt as proof that the bidder has applied for renewal, gagamitin nyo na ito ngayon sa pag-update ng inyong PhilGAPS registration. That's because any of the Class A document required sa pag-apply nyo ng PhilGAPS, alin man doon yung nag-expire, your PhilGAPS registration is also considered as temporarily expired. So, makakabalik lang yung validity ng PhilGAPS registration nyo pag na-update ninyo yung nag-expired na Class A documents doon. Say for example, itong business permit, pwede nyong gamitin yung resibo para ma-update yung inyong PhilGAPS registration. And sa ating bidding, ang tatanggapin lang namin para ma-consider kayong eligible ay yung updated PhilGAPS registration. Yun ang kailangan nyong ilagay sa technical document. Other than that, halimbawa, nilagay niyo yung updated business permit o resibo ng business permit, hindi po siya tatanggapin ng bank. You will remain ineligible kasi hindi niyo siya in-update sa PhilGAPS. That means yung PhilGAPS registration ninyo is still temporarily expired. So I hope malinaw yung aking ini-explain. Okay? So take note, pag ngayon, ano pa naman, January, mag-renew ng mga business permit. Kung expired pa yung business permit ninyo, hindi nyo pa nare-renew, I advise you na yung resibo pa lang na binayar na pag ginamit na inisyo sa inyo pagbayad nyo ng business permit renewal, gamitin nyo na yun pag-update ng inyong PhilGAPS registration. Anyway, online naman ito. Okay? At pag na-update nyo siya, padadala naman kayo online ng PhilGAPS na updated na yung Class A document ninyo. And then, i-print nyo yun, plus yung page 1 and 2, sama yung page 3 na yun, yun ang ilalagay nyo sa technical document para ma-consider kayo as eligible. Okay? So, yun lang po.
Thank you, Sir Benji. Any additional comment from the members of the bank, attorney? Ikaw po, engineer. So, Sir Benji?
So, ako wala na.
Okay po. So, with that, this pre-bid conference for contract ID 24F00020 for various special support program for CPAC and for Santa Elena Bashar is now adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Thank you po.
Thank you. May free prop pa. May free prop. Opo.